we can remove this one and this one and this one. Yeah, nice. Oh, did we mess something up? Oh, we might just have messed something up. Hi, and welcome to another hacking session on the Smart Notes application. In this session, we're going to have a look at the interaction interface and see if we can put more functionality into the base class so that we don't have to duplicate, for example, the selection border drawing and maybe some key event handling. Since the last session, I've thought a bit more about this interaction interface. We have this process event, update, and draw, which is inspired by like a typical game loop. I'm not sure if this is the ideal pattern or ideal way for this application to do things, but I concluded that this is what we've got for now, and I don't know how to immediately make it better. So I just documented a bit here how it works and some of the consequences, and we'll see if we have to look at it in the future to maybe improve it somehow, but for now I think I'll leave it like this. So in this session I would like to have a look at if we can have some default implementation for process event, update, and draw to provide some basic functionality that most widgets want to use. So in an earlier session we concluded that the selection border drawing logic is duplicated in many widgets, and perhaps we can put that in the base widget functionality, and also the bubble event functionality. We might be able to do something more generic with that one. And right now I'm more interested in the bubble event functionality, so I think I'll continue with that one in this session. So if we have a look at a note, for example, this is how bubble event is called. It's called in the process event, and also we only end up here if the event is not handled, and we also have focus. So a default implementation could look something like this in the process event. So you can say if has focus, then bubble event. This is the default implementation. And what we can do now is, I'm not sure, maybe we want to check if it's a key event also, because it's only really the key events that we want to bubble. So let's say if has focus and event is key event. I'm not sure if that method exists, but let's have a look. For now, that's the only events that we want to bubble. So let's see, Pygame event, mouse motion, key down text, key down. Yeah, let's just say let's allow an empty description, and we can just call it like is key event event key down, and then let's allow an empty description. Let's see if it's a key down. Let's just do it very simple. If description is none, then return self event type is Pygame key down. Let's do it like that. Okay. That will probably work. So if the widget has focus and it receives a key down event, we bubble that event because by default we don't handle it. So let's see, in a network node, we should be able to, instead of calling bubble event at the end, we could just call the base class process event function. So let's do that. Instead of calling bubble, let's call, what was the base widget? This one. Let's call dot process event self event. And let's try that and see if it works. Okay, so toggle when an event has focus, it works. Yeah, okay. Yes, this is maybe nice. Let's see the other places where we call bubble. Bubble event. This is the default implementation. This is an overridden version, and this is where we call it as well. This is in the network widget. So let's change the implementation here as well. Process event has focus, so here we want to call do we always want to call has focus? Yeah, so okay, so somewhere here we want to do widget process event self event instead of bubble event. We don't need to do the focus check here, but the question is, do we want to call the base widget's process event always, or maybe just in the else clause, like if we didn't handle the event, we as in network widget, we forward it to all the children and we call the process event base. This will probably work, I'm not sure. Yeah, let's do it like that. And this should now be the base call instead. And then in a table widget, we can just remove the process event because it's all in this functionality is in the base now. And the next one, oh, now we're back in the base class. Yeah. So let's make sure that works. Toggling back and forth, yeah, seems to work. Okay, let's commit that. And say default default implementation process event bubbles key events, something like that. Okay, let's have a look at what we've got now. So I was thinking that we could take this step one level further, where you can say like register a key handler, and it can be automatically invoked in this process event base. So let's see, for example, in the Smart Notes widget, we have this bubble event implementation, and we also have some process event that checks for some key events. Oh, I'm not sure. I'm thinking that instead of doing this key event checking, you can just call a method, maybe in the constructor, saying like, listen for this key event and call this function when it happens, so that the individual widgets don't have to implement this process event at all. At the moment, I can't think of how a better solution to this would work, so maybe I'll just leave it like this for now and consider this bubble key events that it has a default implementation now. So yeah, instead I'll move on to the duplicated selection border drawing. So if we have a look in the table, we have, this is basically the default implementation that we want to use. We want to save the rect in the update call, and we want to draw the focus rect in the draw call. So let's just try to move that over to the default implementation and see what it looks like. So let's steal the draw functionality. Draw. Oops. If has focus, canvas draw rect, self, and let's call it underscore rect for let's don't change too much at once. Let's just do it like that. And update, I'll just save it. And now we can get rid of these two methods. And let's just quickly just verify that that works. And let's open up the table, and it works. Yeah. So let's see if we can use this functionality in, for example, the network. So I know the network draws a focus rectangle as well. So draw, here is the focus rect. So we can just say focus. So this is the drawing code. So let's always call the base.draw, whatever it's called, self canvas. Base is a widget.draw. And we also need to save the rect. It's done in the update call. So let's call widget.update rect. So elapsed milliseconds and self as well. And we don't need this self.rect. Do we use it somewhere? Yeah, we do. Okay. So I want to add to the to-do, rename rect to _rect. Let's see. Let's try this out. And that seems to work. Yeah. Okay. Good. So now when we have a default implementation that we override, we have to choose where to call the base functionality. Either we can do it at the end or at the beginning or somewhere in between. So every widget has to make that decision. I think maybe that's fine for now. Maybe the default implementation of draw could do this and then call like draw override, and then we call override draw override here instead. I don't have to call the base at all. I don't have to worry in which order it's done, but we'll see perhaps what feels most natural later on. I'll leave it like this for now. I think in the case of update, it makes sense to call the base update method before doing our stuff, and in the case of draw, maybe it makes sense to do the I'm not sure. I mean, the focus rectangle, if the focus rectangle is drawn first, we could potentially draw something over it so it's not visible. So in that case, it makes sense to draw it last. But on the other hand, if we draw like a background, it doesn't make sense to draw it last. So yeah, I'm not sure. Let's leave it like this for now. And let's see where else we use the selection. So maybe we can just search for this color selection. Color selection. We do it here. This is probably the default implementation. And we do it here. This is, where's this? Note base widget. So it's here. Draw. So here we can call selection. We can do widget.draw self canvas. Also, here's a difference. The border is different for events. It inflates a bit more, so it looks a bit different. But let's let's do it like this and we'll see what it looks like. So now you can see that I'm not sure if you noticed, but before this selection rectangle was more inflated, or rather deflated, to not fill up the whole rectangle, because I thought that looked better for events, but maybe it doesn't matter. We can do it like this for now, perhaps. Or actually, let's undo that. I want to make sure it looks the same. So in the draw method, let's duplicate this one, and let's add another one called focus rect, and by default it just returns the rect deflated by 2 pixels. And instead of calling rect inflate here, we just do focus rect. And now in this draw method, we can do widget.draw self canvas, and we can override focus rect and return this one. How about that? Let's see. Oops, border is not defined. Border is not defined. Also, we reset something with border size here. It's border size. So we start with the rect.copy. And then we, okay, I'm not sure. So let's just, this should be self.rect.inflate. Something like that. Not sure what the border is. Yeah, okay. So it needs to be deflated even more. That's probably because of this border. Border size, so we deflated by the border size. And further, okay, so let's just do, let's deflate it even more, -3, -3, move 1. Let's just try that and see. Eventually it will look good. Yeah, so now maybe it's the correct size and it needs to be moved. Instead of move 1, 1, maybe move -1, -1. Yeah, so that looks better, and it works equally well here. And if yeah, so now it looks pretty good. Let's just, instead of -7, -3, let's do -10. And say that this is the focus rect. We could even do the calculation up here and to have it exactly the same as before, and then just save the focus rect and return it here. But let's do this for now. Let's verify that it works. Yes, it works. And let's see where else we can call color selection. So this is another one. Text field. Text field, text field. Draw. Widget.draw self canvas. So yeah, this focus thing works, right? Works. And where else? Draw color selection. Okay, so now it's only in the base, used in the base class. So yeah, the default implementation. Okay, so duplicate the selection board and drawing logic is not duplicated anymore. I want to rename rect as well, mainly because all the other attributes are marked as private. So let's do that as the last step, and then we'll finish this session. And the one we save should now be underscored as well. This one should be underscored as well. Okay, let's go back here to search for rect. This is another one, this is another one. Rect, rect. Rather self.rect. So this is the event and then base note. Self.rect should be underscore rect. Self.rect underscore underscore underscore. And let's see if we've got any more. So where is this? This is the text field. Self.rect is now called underscore rect. And this is not needed anymore because the default implementation does this. What else? What else? This is the Smart Notes widget. Self.rect. This is not needed anymore because it's done in the default implementation. And so we can remove this one and this one and this one. Yeah, nice. And this could just be underscore rect. Yes. Just change that and a search note. Search results. Is it hiding here? Yes. And okay, get target center. All right, so a search node doesn't use the whole rect allotted to it. It's probably because it maintains the aspect ratio. So we set another one here. It's fine. Oh, and also here in this process event, probably all process event functions should probably have like an else and call the base so node base widget dot process event, something like that in the case, but let's add that to the to-do. Process event should call base in final else clause. Let's not fix that now. Let's continue with this rect before we forget what we're doing. So this one is a network widget. Just one. And network node, next one. Self.rect, this is set by default. Self.rect is now called underscore. I'm wondering if fade from rect separate. Okay, this will probably work. Just do search replace and not think too much. Okay, so I think we've replaced all occurrences now. Network node has no attribute rect. Node.rect. Okay. Network. Let's see. Dot rect. Okay, I'm not sure how to quickly fix these, but let's just do this. I call accepts a private attribute from outside, and let's add it to do don't access rect from network. Node.rect from network. Okay. Network node. Didn't we just fix that? Network node has no attribute rect. So is it something here? Direct. No. Link. No. Not direct. Maybe it didn't save. Network node has no attribute. Oh, start direct. Yeah, so it's probably in a link drawing. Direct, yeah. And let's add it here as well. Don't access node direct from link. Oh. Interesting. What's going on? Rect collide, so okay. Let's fix a few more. Link source. Link source. Direct. Not there. Not there. How about the network? Search for. Oops. Not there. So where is it? 614. This is in Smart Notes widget. Draw. What does this do? Okay, so it draws the arrow when you make a link. Okay, so let's add it here as well. Don't access note.direct from Smart Notes widget. Let's see if that fixes the crash. Still don't fix the drawing. That's okay. Okay. Ooh. Interesting. Interesting, interesting. Okay. So I think this has something to do with network. Where we calculate the position of all nodes. So if we have a look at the diff, let's see if we can find it here. So in the widget, node base widget. Is this the? Where's the network? Let's see if we can find a network. Network. So yeah, this should be equivalent. yeah, the background is never drawn. Is that the Smart Notes widget? Did we mess something up? Oh, we might just have messed something up. Draw, canvas, fill, rect. Okay, let's see. Update, fill, rect, box draw. Let's print fill. Okay, so we're getting a 0 rect, so we're not drawing the background. That's why we see all the interesting effect. We don't see the blue background either. Okay, so why do we get the 0 rect? Okay, so that's probably because vbox update, box update does not call the widget update, and the rect is therefore never saved. So here we should do widget.update. Let's see if it works better. Yeah, all right. Better. All right, and the debug bar works, and the search bar works. We can click on stuff here. Oh, interesting. Okay, so this behavior is a bit new. You can see that they seem to appear from the top left corner, but they should really be coming out from the center. Interesting. Let's see why that is. So first of all, let's remove the print. Let's see what we broke. So in the network, update. Where do we do it? Is it here somewhere? Yes, when we create a new note, its rect should be like the network rect, I believe. So, okay. Note, draw card, note base widget, network note. It's animated. In the update, yeah, so fade from rect. Fade from rect.center. Oh, so we can call fade from rect on this update. Oh, okay, interesting. So we've done something special for this update. Okay, and it's probably called from the network. Let's see, so we do update. No? Oh, okay. Root note. Link. Note.rect if linked. Direction, okay, note.rect. Also, this should be its ideal rect. Interesting, interesting, interesting. What did we break? What did we break? Fade from rect. So let's just revert this one just to verify that the behavior is still okay. So let's bring up the search bar, and yeah, so now you can see, click on something here, all nodes appear from the center. Okay, and with this implementation they appear from, I don't know, 0, 0. Yeah, 0, 0 maybe up here. They're very small. And there is a flag we can turn on. Let's see, where is it? What's it called? Debug Animations. So we can animations, yes. So we can see what's going on. Debug Animations. So yeah, it just makes them go a bit more slowly. And we can see that indeed they do start from the, seems like they're starting from 0, 0 rectangle. So network, when we create a new node, which is done in root node, let's see. Make root, append root node, stripe recursive. Yeah, stripe recursive. So somewhere here we create a new widget, right? Node. Yes, we pick a different root node, and okay, so stripe recursive. What happens when we pick a new open last node root node? Make root update. Okay, so we call update on the root node. So yeah, so probably the node does not save. Update node base widget update rect, and node base widget update. Yeah, it doesn't call the base. So in the update we should call widget. Oops. dot update self rect lapsed, like that. Okay, interesting. Okay. Looks weird. What's going on? Okay. Full width, card size. Card full rect. Okay. Self.rect.copy. Full self.rect. Self.rect. Scale to fit. Okay, what's going on? Draw card rectified. Network node update. True rect. Rect. So yeah, I think this one is using direct or modifying direct, maybe. Get target. Target. This is where we want it to be. It's based on the rect size. Okay. True rect. Okay, so let's see if we can find out what changed. Widget, note, base widget, draw. Let's do it like this instead. You can more easily find it. Widget. Let's see if we can find a note. widget, node base widget. So before, the node base widget didn't set self.rect at all. So self.rect is assumed to be the area where to draw the rect, which is not really what it is, it's just the area allotted to it. Oh, okay. So yeah, we refer to it as true rect here. Because we need it here. So true rect is really rect. And this should not be needed. Target, on the other hand, this is where we reset it. So self.rect, this should probably be called, let's call it network node. Let's call it node rect. Node rect. And oops, node rect. Node rect. Node rect is none. Node rect. Node rect. Node rect. This is not rect. And in the base node, rect is node rect, node rect, node rect, node rect. Okay. Let's see. Node rect doesn't exist. Yeah, okay, so let's set it up here. Self.node rect is none. Right. Search node object has no attribute node rect. Yeah, so you should set it up here. And we can remove it here. Non-type. There's no attribute copy. think I need to end this session now because I don't have any more time to continue, but I'll probably fix this off camera and perhaps also fix the remaining to-dos here. All right, thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.